Oh, hello there. Welcome to the first of our video blogs. We'll be taking you behind the scenes of Spoof Wars and all of the movies and projects and ridiculous things that we come up with. So I hope you enjoy this little preview in 3D and 48 frames per second. No, I'm just kidding.
The idea for Rig'ur Mortuus dates back to our original ideas for Spoof Wars sequels.
The Approaching Fury and Revenge of the Jedi.
Basically, we had this character who would die in stupid ways over and over again.
And the joke was that he'd come back with no explanation, and sometimes people would notice.
And people would always just point out, hey, aren't you supposed to be dead? And then he would just have a heart attack or something.
And it would be funny, or not. We didn't know what we were doing back then. Hopefully we know what we're doing now. Do we?
And we called him Constant Death Jedi. He was going to be played by this guy at our high school, and, well, then we all graduated and got old, so that didn't happen.
He played a small part in those movies as an apprentice under Count Dubious, I believe, who would then reveal to him that he was Darth Bolshevik. Then we did a second attempt at sequels called The Hidden Reprisal, which was going to take place on Earth. And we wanted to have all new characters. So we had 2 new characters, and then the third one was another version of the Constant Death Jedi, and I think his name was Byron Scalar. And he had the same gag. He died like almost immediately in the movie as soon as they got to Earth.
Rig'ur Mortuus kind of was loosely based on what the original Typhon was supposed to be. They kind of had thought that Typhon was supposed to have died a few times and then kept reappearing until the end. If you remember in the original Spoof Wars how he kind of comes in and saves Sean Duet.
You're the guy who's dead but isn't because he's not dead. Because you're here. Because you're not dead, right?
Bingo. Let's go.
Alrighty, bingo.
It was, they kind of took that idea and ran with it, and they made it so much better and just kind of really expanded it.
So then, for the new incarnation of Constant Death Jedi, I think originally we were going to give him some other name, but then we decided Rig'ur Mortuus just really fit the character.
After we'd done Typhon, Shadows of the Democracy, and started filming Return of the Smuggler and Dark Equilibrium, we decided to bring that character back when we were looking at The Plot Strikes Back.
One of my really good friends, Eric, and I knew that he was into a lot of the kind of stuff that my high school friends were into, so it was kind of like it was the perfect person to kind of bring in, and he ended up coming in and being awesome at quite a few characters, one of which is Rig'ur Mortuus.
Yeah, so I play Rig'ur Mortuus. He's the second main character.
Over here.
Ah. He's the second main character I play in Spoof Wars.
His randomness, such as the episode about the muffins, where he just randomly says muffins, that was his own doing, and he does that kind of stuff all the time.
I think muffins.
And Eric was just the perfect choice. That is him. He's not playing a character, that just is Eric.
He's kind of crazy and nuts, and it kind of comes off really well, especially as Rig'ur Mortuus.
I started off with Exor, and then, I don't know, they got to know my personality a little bit more, and it was just a perfect fit for Rig'ur Mortuus. They just wanted a kind of goofy guy that gets killed all the time. And, you know, that's me. That's me. I die all the time.
Welcome back to Insufficient Postage. I'm joined today with Eric, who
Hello.
plays the popular character Rig'ur Mortuus. So, Eric, how are you doing today, sir?
How you doing?
I really want to put this down, but the table's digital. Thank you. You're so kind.
You're very much welcome.
You didn't answer my question.
Oh, I'm doing great today. Thanks for having me.
Yes. It's wonderful for you to be here with us. So, explain to me this Rig'ur Mortuus character.
He dies a lot,
That's all you got?
Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but he dies a lot.
You can have that. No problem.
That's really how it got. He dies a lot. He dies a lot.
Well, that's interesting.
But we also filmed some stuff for Plot Strikes Back. There's a lot of fun deaths in there too. Probably a lot of good ones got in that one. Those are really funny, and it's all in the Spoof Wars universe, so it's not just in Sean's house where I die. So that's a little bit interesting to play around in green screen and stuff.
As we were doing it, we kept coming up with more and more jokes in that movie for him to die. And so I was talking with Eric, and we were brainstorming about the idea of an interactive, choose-your-own-adventure type movie where you play as Rig'ur Mortuus, and he has to solve some mystery, and you can make wrong choices where he dies. And I thought, well, that's great, but we have a tendency to make really long movies when we don't intend to. Why don't we start with something simpler?
We talked to each other about a different mini-series on the character because he is a rather interesting character, and we can do so many funny things with him. We just had a bunch of ideas to use on his death.
And so we had Eric at this point, and he had made an awesome costume and everything. So we're all like, you know, why don't we just give him his own spin-off where he's doing everyday mundane activities and, you know, and dies doing them.
So we came up with the idea of the Rigors of Mortuus, which was a kind of a webisode series that we could just come up with and film on the spot. And we filmed the first season in like just a couple hours, just throwing out ideas and making up stuff. We did the second season on Sean's birthday, and some of us got a little tipsy that night. You can tell in one of the episodes.
Oh
my God!
I made my own explosion!
You just killed a guy! What's this thing going on? What's going on?
Watch this! Yeah!
Oh my God!
I play the character Typhon. So we needed an officer in one of the episodes of Rig'ur Mortuus, and I volunteered to do it, but it was like we couldn't really show my face if we wanted the whole consistency thing, because I'm supposed to be off doing other things. So we put a hat over my face and got a big old trench coat, and I kind of have a really, really bad English accent, and I try to do it, and it just didn't work. Hello, Governor. I forgot one. We decided to use that in the episode, and I kind of became a reoccurring character in Rig'ur Mortuus, and I love to throw boxes, so that's how that kind of came to be. That chap was straight up metal. You're a popular guy today.
So I play Sprint Render in the movies, and so we needed a cameo character to come in to do some sort of cliffhanger. So they dressed me up and let me push him down the stairs.
My name is Sprint Render, and I need your help.
Your show is amazingly popular. There's like 10.5 people that watch it.
How can you have a half person?
That doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Is it like
anyway.
a percentage or something like that? Or?
Sure, we'll go with that. You made me look like a fool on my own show.
It's fine.
No!
No one watches you anyway. I made the costume by myself. Matt helped out with the designs. He gave me a couple ideas, said, hey, I kind of want to look sort of like this. And so I kind of took that and ran with it and made the red cloak cape with a wrap sort of deal from Starkiller. And the tunic was just made out of scraps that I had. There wasn't enough to really make a full tunic, so I just threw them together. Unfortunately, the cape sort of looks like Little Red Riding Hood, and people have told me that. But it's all cool. It goes along with the character, a little bit goofy.
The belt that he wears is the same one that Guigon wears, my other character. And the symbol on there we've created, well, we've turned it into the logo for the democracy. So we decided that belt is actually a belt that all expendable Jedi wear. And Rig'ur Mortuus certainly is an expendable Jedi.
This is my lightsaber that I have created for Rig'ur Mortuus. This one's my third or fourth lightsaber that I made, and I finally got the design down a little bit for how to make it. And it's actually a 3-loader, because the top part isn't glued on at all. You can pull that off. The middle part's not connected. You can pull that apart. But we normally just use a bottom loader. It's pretty easy that way. In case you're curious, all the little black spots on the bottom here, those are actually glue, and my skin got stuck on there and peeled off and junk, and it just turned weird colors. Has a button.
What's it made of?
Made of plumbing parts.
Door handles.
Door hand. Oh yes,
Cabinet.
these are cabinet handles. We kind of went a different direction with these later on, but you guys will get to see that later. It'll be quite a treat. There we go. Tyler actually used this when we went to Celebration 6, and this is the lightsaber he was walking around with, and so this got to go to Florida, the only lightsaber that went to Florida. So that was kind of fun. Didn't break either, so good deal on that. It's not very practical as a lightsaber, because you can't really hold it up here. It's mostly a one-handed thing. It's just for show, really. So I don't really think we expect to fight with it too much.
Explain to me, maybe your favorite episode.
These cups are
Rigors of
empty.
Mortuus. They are. It's digital. Come on!
Oh. My favorite has to be the pilot. I died in that one. If you can
No
imagine.
way! That's awesome.
It was a good time, and I rolled down the stairs on my back.
And choked yourself, huh?
I did choke myself, but how did you know that? Did you read my mind?
No, I was in it.
Oh, yes!
Yes, that's right.
Oh God, you're the one who killed me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My favorite episodes of the Rigors of Mortuus would have to be the Boggle one. That's one of my favorites.
All he says throughout the entire episode is, "Boggle?"
Boggle?
And that's referencing a King of the Hill YouTube poop. But it's just so random that's all that happens in the episode. And we ended up using that to explain other things. Like, that's the ultimate revelation for Jedi. And, you know, as soon as they realize Boggle is the answer, they're ready.
I'd say my favorite episode's the original, falling down the stairs. I literally did fall down the stairs there and rolled all the way down. By the time I got to the bottom, I was choked on my cape because I was underneath me. My face was getting red too because I couldn't breathe. We had to do that take 2 or 3 times, and we did a couple variations on that, and I'm sure you've seen them. Right.
Back to basics. It's explosive.
He spends like 2 solid minutes tuning my bass really badly, and he does like a Peter Griffin thing when he's tuning it. You know, he's trying to be a tuner. He's like going, you know, but he's like way off.
They told me about the Family Guy thing. I've never seen it, so I was kind of winging it.
And the bass was horribly out of tune, so we didn't make it easy for him. But yeah, after all that, he just plucks 1 string, and then he just explodes, and that's the end.
That was fun with the explosion. That was completely perfect. I always makes me laugh with it.
Okay. Kitchen monster. My favorite.
He's shaving the lightsaber crystal and it falls down the drain.
That was a real knife, and they were telling me be careful and not cut my finger. Luckily I didn't. And the garbage disposal, that freaked me out, sticking my hand in there, because you never stick your hand in garbage disposal, especially me.
The ominous music plays.
It seems like something is going to happen with the garbage disposal, and nothing ends up happening, and then a monster jumps out of the fridge and eats him.
That was pure genius on Matt's part. I was just expecting like a little 2D image to come out and be like, "Rawr!" like that, but Matt just took it a whole new level, mixed all these sounds together, and actually had movement and stuff. It was amazing.
It's just a real good example of misdirection, which is just hilarious in and of itself.
And it was good because we had done so many in a row where you kind of could figure out what was going to happen. He was going to die or nothing was going to happen. And this one we threw people off, which I think really worked.
My favorite episode of Rig'ur Mortuus probably would be the one where he sees Sprint Render and he looks straight into the camera and says, "Cliffhanger."
I really like the Waxback parody.
We kept seeing this ridiculous infomercial on TV where a guy was cleaning out his ears with a Q-tip and had this completely overdramatic, "Ow!"
We all know we shouldn't use cotton swabs to clean or dry our ears. They even warn us, but we do it anyway. Stop. There's a better way.
And we decided, well, what if Rig'ur Mortuus did that, but then he just bleeds to death right there.
It was all in the script, though. We're cool between us.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
It's in the script. I get paid.
You get paid?
I don't get paid.
Where's my wages?
Who calls it wages?
Excuse me.
I like wages because I'm put down!
We'll be right back after these important messages. Rig'ur Mortuus was just an awesome character that we definitely had a lot of fun with.
The characters just kind of become a main character who never really joins the other main characters.
It was just a really fun time, and we just really enjoyed ourselves.
Looking forward to showing some more stuff in the future. He has a pretty big role in The Plot Strikes Back.
I'll also be making some cameos in the
Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of Jedi. Thank you.
He may have interactions with Qui-Gon in the future.
But maybe there will be a fight with Rig'ur Mortuus and undisclosed characters.
Other things you can look forward to in the Rigors of Mortuus coming up. Some new gags. We're not going to recycle them all to death. A couple of them we will. And maybe some more cameos. There's one in particular that I'm really hoping we can do that I think we have a couple of comic relief characters in Spoof Wars, and one of them just gets on every other character's nerves. But I think when this character is paired with Rig'ur Mortuus, he's going to get what's coming to him.
And so, yeah, look forward to seeing me. And here's a preview. Dark power has come into the galaxy, such that I have never felt before. The shadow of an ancient horror from out of the darkness. A great evil has returned.
Well, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank God for me.
Oh no!
Oh!
Hey, aren't you supposed to be dead?